Or you think you little...
Yeah. We need more stock images and stuff.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hello.
Good morning. Okay, so good morning. So, Deacon, you were saying that we need to take some more photos that I can like rotate the images and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant, or did you mean some other stuff?
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I meant.
yeah, and I think I'm
in the picture.
and you're all like,
I'm like,
well, I honestly think that's a good photo
kids.
for you. Hey, before we get started, let me just open it like this. If you're watching this video later, please hit like and subscribe. Some people were watching later, and I suspect we might get a few because the episode is this episode. What did I call this episode? Do you remember?
Every narc you want to be.
I said that at first, but then I said, "Who's in your wallet?" Hint: it's the feds. So
I don't get this title today, so you're gonna have
that isn't that American Express. What's in your wallet?
I don't know. I'm not a credit card person.
Good for you.
I honestly have had one credit card when I turned 18 years old. I had a credit card. It had a $500 limit. It was for emergencies. My emergency was a paintball gun and supplies. And when I eventually paid off that credit card.
Can you imagine playing paintball and not having a paintball gun? That would be an emergency.
No, it was an emergency. See, I'm glad finally somebody understands. No, I paid that off, and I realized that this was no good. I had money that wasn't my money, and it was very tempting. And I seen what I was watching what all of my friends and stuff were doing. I had a friend that was like 27 years old, and she filed for bankruptcy because she was like $29,000 in debt because she had gotten like 4 or 5 credit cards, and she was like 27 years old, and she had almost $30,000 in debt from credit card. So I learned real quick that no, I'm not a credit card person. I did get a secured credit card years ago. because I set it up to I set my Netflix up to be paid from the credit card and my bank to pay my Netflix. So every week or every month,
What?
it was going through a cycle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it was building credit is all it was doing. It was just building fake
Yeah.
credit. I hate credit. I'm a Dave Ramsey guy.
Hey, my wife loves Dave Ramsey, dude.
know,
Credit card, a credit score is just a debt score.
It's just a debt score, the FICO score, and all that crap. And I hated it, but unfortunately, there are some things in the world in America that you have to have a credit card or a credit score for.
Yeah.
And we had to, buying the house, and I got kids that are fixing to start driving and stuff like that. But I was always under the school that if you've got $500 and something costs $550, you can't afford it. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough money. It don't matter if the guy's going to loan you $50 and you pay him back $150. No. Withstand. People don't have willpower anymore. No one has willpower for anything. You have to beat yourself, man. You're your worst freaking enemy, man.
You're gonna put yourself in so many problems.
Yeah, I mean, I'm my worst freaking enemy. And so when I tell myself, I'm like, screw you, dude. Screw you, Deacon. I will beat you. And I have willpower. I have willpower. That's one thing that I have worked on over the years. If I want to do something, I will do it. I battle myself for it. It's like an internal. So that's just the debt is just a willpower thing.
Yeah.
Do you really need that or not?
Well, okay, so
I'm not a big credit card person, so I don't really keep up with all that mess.
Good. I mean, mostly I know it from commercials. Like every, I recognize Visa is like everywhere you want to be,
everywhere you want to be.
Yeah, and American Express is like what's in your wallet or whatever. I only know it from commercials. I don't have an American Express card. I don't even think
debit card is something. That's all I've got. A debit that works.
Yeah, right.
Way,
the bank handles the transactions the same, but
right.
I don't. We paid off our credit cards a long time ago, and we are not getting credit again.
Yeah,
that puts us in a jam sometimes.
It does. It really does.
Because, I don't know if I mentioned. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. My car. I had a car that.
Did you have a wreck?
I had a wreck. I had a wreck. It was a few weeks ago. It was my. I had a Mercedes Benz that was gifted from my uncle, and I tried to take good care of it. Better than I would ever take care of a car for myself. Right. And I got rear-ended, and the insurance company was like, "Oh, this car's 25 years old, so we'll just total it." And I was like, "You sons of bitches.
Don't want to total it. It's 25 years old.
25 years old. It's a modern classic. What are you doing?" And then they totaled it, and I can't afford to there's stuff that I can do for a car, but I can't bend the frame out or whatever. So what happens? So I got a little bit of scratch cash from the settlement, and now I need a car. And what is 85% of Americans do when this happens to them? Car loan. They go buy a car with another car loan. Yep. And I'm like, my wife and I are like, could we get a car loan? Yeah, of course. I mean, like my debt score is not bad. I mean, my credit score is okay. It's pretty good. But could I get a loan for a car? Yeah, I could get a loan for a car. It would be like same day or whatever. I would have no problem. I'm not going to do that. I don't want a car payment.
Right. I know.
So we had to work something out cash, and that meant a lot more work to find a good car we could afford.
I got something for you, but I got the train going by. It's probably going to get a little loud. Can you hear that?
Toot, boy. Toot.
The train is right in there. Do you? I've never done this. But I've recently heard this from the purchase of my last car, so 5 years. Do you go and get a secured loan before you go and buy a car, or do you use financing from the car dealer?
Most of the dealerships have financing in-house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how they get you. Is because of the financing in-house, and they charge different stuff because they get to write it off or not write it off, but they get to mark up and get that.
They're making money on loaning you money.
Yes.
And selling your debt to someone else, maybe.
If you walk in with a secured loan, I've got the bank over here's already told me they'll give me $30,000 for this.
Yeah.
puts the ball in your court. I mean, that gives you all the advantage.
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah, if you can't, I mean, like, cash is king, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do a cash deal, do a cash deal. Don't borrow money to buy a car. Buy a cheaper car, or don't buy a car. I don't know what your situation is, but like, I mean, like, for one thing, from a lot of people that live in cities, a car is an expense that you can't afford because, you know.
But folks like us, I mean,
live out in the country or have a huge commute. Yeah.
There's no way I can't. I have to have a vehicle.
Yeah.
I live many miles away from my work.
My commute to work is like 50 miles, and my commute home is like 35, which is weird.
Oh, see, you've got more
circuitous route.
I'm only about I'm only about a 20-minute. It takes 23 minutes to get from work, from driveway to driveway.
Yeah, but that's like, I remember having to do slogs like that.
Traffic at all. That's 5 a.m. Zero traffic on the road.
But you also don't have 85-mile-an-hour roads there either, right? And you got stop signs and stop lights, and there's the corner shop. So you're going through town, maybe.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, anyway, I don't know if we're teaching anybody anything this morning, but internet, your two dads are saying, don't get debt. You don't want debt.
You don't.
And not only do you not want debt, you do not want to buy a gun using a Visa card, even if it's not a credit card, even if it's a debit card.
Even if it's a Visa debit card, if I buy a gun with a
Visa, MasterCard, American Express, these are processors, payment processors. And what they're doing is adding a special code for gun shops. So if you go into a gun shop, right, on your transaction history, it'll be like code 456, and that means whatever he bought it at a gun store. Now, why is that a big deal? Why is that a big deal, Deacon?
They're flagging you, JJ. They see who bought them this.
I mean, they already knew, right? They already knew, but now it's going to be like, sales at gun stores flagged on your payment processors. Now, can the government say, we compel you, Visa, to give us the purchase histories of individuals? In some cases, yes. But you know what also can happen is the government can be like, hey, Visa, would you mind giving us the purchase histories of these individuals? And Visa can sometimes just voluntarily give your information to the government. So this becomes a de facto corporate-run gun registry. These are the people. I mean, who buys stuff at a gun store if you don't own guns? Why would you buy ammunition if you don't have guns? Why would you buy a gun case if you don't have guns? So this is the way the government is going to be able to determine who owns guns. Even though people that buy guns in gun stores are not the ones that are committing crimes with guns. People committing crimes with guns steal those guns. They don't buy them at gun stores.
Oh shit! That's what I always when these drunk gun people would start bitching. You know, the guns and we need security and we need. I'm like, do you know how the world works? I mean,
see the crazy face of Pocahontas.
Yeah, it's a Pocahontas there. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to tell you how it works. And they already know this. I'm not laying down a huge surprise. My neighbor, for instance, he has 3 registered guns. Do you think he only has 3 guns?
I don't know.
Okay.
Constitution says he has a right to bear arms. Doesn't say he has to tell you how many he owns.
That's exactly right. And most of these people that are registering their guns and have registered guns, I'm just telling you, I'm just saying, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure this shit out. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you said is right. The people that are using the guns for the purposes that we get pissed off about, shooting schools up and shooting places up and doing shit like this, I'm not going to say all the time, most of the time they are acquired illegally. and they either have the serial numbers scraped off or something to where you can't identify them. There's something going on with the gun. It's not like,
I mean, it's not like we don't live in an age where you can just print a gun from a 3D printer.
No
anyway.
shit. No kidding. I mean, they can make those zip guns and shit that really work. So yeah, didn't they have a plastic one that was just like
no, the 3D printed guns out of plastic.
Out of plastic that work.
They work. They have like the only absolutely necessary piece of metal that has to be in there is like the firing pin, and maybe that doesn't even have to be metal. I don't know. The barrel obviously is going to do better if it's metal because it's going to stand up to the heat or whatever longer. But
well, you know,
I mean, there was the guy in Japan. Did we cover the story where the guy killed the former Japanese prime minister with a homemade shotgun?
Homemade shotgun. I saw that video.
A couple of pipes.
Homemade shotgun. Yeah.
So
I forgot what I was going to say. I'll go ahead.
You were probably saying, "Hey, JJ, what's up with this story?" And then I was going to say, "Oh, well, did you know that Visa Incorporated, MasterCard Incorporated, and American Express will add a new merchant category for firearms retailers for a victory for gun control advocates, aka people who are scared of the world and who have pressed the financial industry to do more to curb mass shootings."
You know, the gun control, how many years ago was it? It was probably about 20 years ago now. When they started limiting ammunition. Did you notice that when ammunition became very scarce all over the place? Because we used to buy like 22 shells to go shooting and shotgun shells and stuff like that to go shooting all the time. And I mean, we're not hunting. Sometimes I'm shooting a 22 at targets and stuff like that. It's a little bitty, 22 rifles, what I grew up on. And they became just, I mean, you can't freaking, you could go to Walmart and buy the freaking, I'll take 4 cases, and you can't just do that anymore.
I mean, I don't know.
20 years, the ammunition has gone very scarce. There's a lot of people. I mean, I've got people in my family that load their own.
Yeah. And that's good if you don't overpack, and if you have they're
doing it the correct way. And
if you have the tools to do that, I mean, that certainly is good. I mean, because right now, like a box of 9mm is like $20, so that's 50 rounds, $20. So that's like, I don't know, what is that? Like, somebody do the math on that. It's like a quarter a round or something like that.
Yeah,
but it used to be cheaper.
Yeah, it used to be real cheap to go get a thing of 22 bullets. I mean, you could get a
you could get like
22 bullets for less than $10 or something, $5, and go and shoot all day long. And yeah, that was always told. I was always told that's one of the ways that they can't have gun control. They can't ban guns.
They will do everything they can.
They'll do everything they can to
gun control happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And if I lived in the heart of the city, would I be scared about gun violence? I mean, really, you should be scared about any violence. We didn't cover it last week, but in Canada last week, there was a mass stabbing. There was a couple of crazy people that ran around and stabbed like 20 people, and 10 of them died. And
that's got to be terrible, man.
Like, you think making guns harder to get to or bullets harder to get to is going to save people's lives? Maybe it'll save some people's lives, and other people are going to die. And you know who's absolutely the most likely to die in a world where you can't have guns or bullets? Women, because women can't put up a fight like a dude can, right? And then you get caught in a knife fight or whatever. 2 guys, the guy with the knife's probably going to win. But if it's a woman with a knife and a guy with his fists, he's probably still going to win. Mm-hmm. So a gun is the equalizer. It makes the people that are less able to defend themselves, it gives them a chance. And we saw, it was probably 2 weeks ago that there was a mass shooter was it in Illinois? Yeah, it was Illinois. It was it was near that town that Ghost Dog lives in, right?
Indiana, yeah.
Indiana. There was a mass shooter at a mall. And you know what?
Indianapolis.
A good guy with a gun put him down dead. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I don't know why I'm all on fire about this right now. I'm just,
No, I'm the same way. It's like Manuel says here. I'm pro Second Amendment. Have a legal firearm. I always keep them home. I always have my firearm on me when I'm at home, but I always have the clip close and never together. That's because you were trained to use a firearm correctly and train your children. I was trained that way. My children are trained. Alex, who uses firearms, he could not use a firearm until he went through and passed the hunter safety course. And it's not just like some take a 10-question quiz. It was like a 3-day course to pass.
That's awesome. It's awesome. You
have your orange card that you keep in your wallet, and if the game warden comes out, let me see your permits and your orange card, and they show you I've passed the hunter safety course. I know how to properly use a firearm. I've been instructed on how to use it. You know, I've told you before, my father's saying, and me and my brother have said this before, because he said the same thing over and over again, the exact same way every time, and we've heard it a million times. He would say, do not point that gun at anything you do not intend to destroy.
That's one of the 5 rules of guns. There's like 5 rules. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it's don't aim it at something unless you intend to destroy it. Don't put your finger on it until you intend to destroy it.
On the trigger until
you know what's behind the target.
Know what's behind your target.
Always treat it like it's loaded.
Always treat it like it's loaded. Yep, those are the
clear that chamber. You clear that anytime you touch a gun, you hold it, possess it, or whatever. You clear that thing. You make sure
someone a gun. You make sure. Yes, there's so many, but nobody teaches these rules, and nobody, like, if they teach them, you need to be like, pay attention, quit dicking around, and listen.
Literally life and death.
You know, this is important. Listen.
I mean, like, if you're careless and you hand somebody like Alec Baldwin a gun, you could get shot with it.
Prime example.
Murderer.
That's a joke. That's a prime example. If
he didn't do his job, it doesn't matter who was responsible on that set for arms. Alec Baldwin had that gun in his hand and he didn't check it. And he killed a woman. He murdered a woman with it. Maybe murder is... I don't know. Well, I mean, it could have been murder because he was really mad at her. Anyway, okay, guys, this is my message this morning. I'm not telling you not to buy a gun. I'm saying to you, don't buy a gun with your debit card. Go to your bank, take out your $550 or whatever it's going to be, and if you're going to go buy a firearm, cash on the table, cash money. I know it's inconvenient though, right? Super inconvenient. And look at this old hag. You know, she's definitely one for...
No, you are insulting a Native American Cherokee woman, JJ, and I will flag this freaking channel quicker than anybody else.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully you didn't flag my short yesterday where I called the vice president a hoe.
I have more Cherokee blood, and I'm being dead serious than she does.
All right. Well, I mean, you guys get the point of this. Just be aware. Like merchants, they got these category codes. One of the category codes is specifically for sales at gun stores, which means that eventually it's going to be, the FBI put in a request from Visa to get the purchase history of so-and-so suspect, and looky there, this gun codes on his purchase history. Now you have a de facto gun registry. This is bad news.
So what's the code, the credit card code, when I buy my cases of rubber chickens?
I don't know, but if rubber chickens is some euphemism for your sex toys, I mean, they probably got one. They got one. So your purchase history better not be subject to a FOIA request, or everybody in the internet's going to know what you're doing at Sally's secret love shop over there.
The box comes in, it says Acme.
All right. Hey, speaking of dumb hoes.
Dumb hoes.
I guess I was.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. JJ gets the segue of the day.
Yeah. Speaking of dumb hoes, Kamala Harris insists the border is secure as illegal immigrants set to pass 2 million in 1 year. This is a story by Emily Crane, but don't you worry. I got like another backup story here. Vice President Kamala Harris served up another helping of word salad on Sunday while insisting that U.S.-Mexico frontier is secure, despite a number of illegal immigrants setting a pace to pass 2 million for the first time ever later this month. In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Harris admitted the immigration system still needs to be fixed before blaming Trump for the border surge that has happened since Biden took office. The border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system, in particular over the past 4 years that we came in, and it needs to be fixed. In particular, over the past 4 years, you basically told the entire world, come to the U.S. We're not going to throw you out. We're not going to turn you away. That wait in Mexico thing, canceled the wait in Mexico thing. Want a free ticket to Chicago? We got you. Want to fly somewhere in the U.S.?
I don't know what freaking crazy put together news you're reading, JJ, but it was Trump's fault.
Dumb fuck is our vice president. She's so stupid. If you ever, I should play a video clip of her talking and you'll be like, she's an idiot. We hired an idiot as a backup for a person who's brain dead.
For our pedophile idiot.
Hey, there's no way that we can get somebody that's got less brain activity than President Biden. Whoops, we could. We absolutely could.
I mean,
she said, she said border secure, but we have a broken immigration system. And Chuck Todd in Houston, oh my God, he was in Houston. Chuck Todd said, we're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident the border's secure? And she said, we have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
Stop. Wait a minute. Hang on.
That's not a real sentence.
Let me read that. We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration. That is the dumbest word vomit I've ever heard in my life. Okay, let's break down this fucking genius sentence here from our Veep. Okay, we have a secure border. Okay, we have a secure border. Why? Because Orange Man wanted to build a goddamn wall and keep them out. All right, it's not because of your administration. It's because of the So you're right. That's Trump's fault that we had a secure border. And then you go on to say, in that is a priority for any nation. So she's basically saying we have a secure border because having a secure border is a priority for any nation. So we have one just because that's a priority.
A border is literally the definition of a country. That's no border, no country.
No shit.
Stupid ass.
And then she tacks on at the end, including ours and our administration, because that's no one listens to what she's saying. All they hear are the bullet points and the ending and the beginning and the inflection points. And so all you're hearing is, we have a secure border in our administration. Now, that's what you heard.
Every functioning brain in the United States understands that border security and illegal immigration means we have a concern about people, humans that are not United States citizens, crossing into the country undocumented and entering the workforce. And yeah, many times it's for economic migrants and people want to improve their lives and all of that. And there's also some that are terrorists and criminals, and there's some that are cartel, and there's some that are trafficking fentanyl. 500,000 Americans dying every year because of fentanyl that comes across the Mexican border.
We had a terrible fentanyl thing here about 4 or 5 years ago with some kids, and a couple of them died, and it was a big freaking deal in the area. I didn't even know what the hell it was until that happened, and I couldn't believe bad
it's shocking
is in the United States.
So
crazy. Kill you.
So any functioning brain understands that secure border is talking about people coming into the country that are not supposed to be coming into the country, and how do we restrict that, and how do we control that, and how do we know who's coming in and who's not coming in, right? And this is what she thinks. We also have to put into place a law and a plan for a pathway to citizenship for millions of people who are here and prepared to do what is legally required to gain citizenship. Except
we already have that.
Yeah, we don't have that in place because people are playing politics in a state like this, Texas, and Congress.
No, No, you can't blame Texas. You can't. There is
We have
already a
literally
process in
hundreds
place
of
that
thousands of migrants
millions
enter in
of
Texas.
people have done before.
Yes. It's like, does she think that legal immigration into the United States nobody's ever done that? Nobody's ever figured out how to legally migrate.
What the fuck does she think this country is? This country
are here and prepared to do what is legally required to gain citizenship. The first thing that was required was to check your passport at the gate and be like, "Hey, I would like to immigrate." Or, that's not true. You actually have to fill out paperwork in advance.
They want to let them in illegally and ship them everywhere. But then she's sitting here. I'm done. I'm done listening to this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm done. I mean, she is this. I'm not a fan.
So in addition to Emily Crane's story about the secure border with 2 million immigrants, the New York Post editorial board, the New York Post, all right, it is a right-leaning paper in New York. Okay, so that means that like many other places, it'd be like moderate Democrat or whatever. New York Post editorial board is saying Kamala Harris's bald-faced lies about the secure border. The New York Post is straight up calling the VP out for being a lying bitch.
Bitch.
Yes. Anyway, I'm going to rehash it. It's the same comments over the same interview with Chuck Todd. But this woman's lying. They're just running cover, right? They're saying that the problem is Texas. 2 million illegal immigrants into the country, into Arizona and Texas, and maybe California too, right? And Texas sends like 9,000 to Chicago and DC and New York, and those places are declaring a state of emergency. Well, that leaves 1,900,000 in Texas. Right, and it's like, oh, Texas is creating a problem. Yeah. Creating a problem? How? How are we creating a problem exactly?
Y'all are always creating.
We are having a. Yeah, I know. Well,
y'all are a news story. Texas is a news story for the left. I mean, you are. If I don't know what they think, gone, they would lose a considerable portion of what they're pissed about all the time. Well, thank goodness all of our politicians in Kentucky are good, upstanding men and women.
God bless Kentucky. Deacon, for a fella who was talking a whole load of about the Queen and the monarchy. And,
I've got to talk in 45 seconds. You can't.
Okay. All right. Let me flip over. I'm gonna do your Baby Shark one and then come back.
Yeah, I just ran across this one last night.
Yeah. All right.
This is hilarious.
All right. So, Baby Shark, Baby Shark, If anybody's got kids under 4 years old, you've probably heard the Baby Shark song, and it's so cute. It's so cute until you have to listen to it until you die. Oklahoma inmate forced to listen to Baby Shark on a loop, found dead. Oh, no. An inmate who has accused his jailers of torture by alleging they forced him to listen to a repetitive Baby Shark song playing on a loop has been found dead. John Basco, found unresponsive in his cell in the early hours of Sunday at the Oklahoma County Detention Center, according to a press release. Officers tried to save the 48-year-old's life, worked on him until emergency responders arrived, and continued efforts to resuscitate him, jail officials said in the statement, but he was pronounced dead at 4:05 a.m. Basco had been booked into the jail on Thursday over a drug trafficking complaint, made headlines around the world in 2021 after he and 3 other inmates sued Oklahoma County commissioners, Sheriff Tommy Johnson III, the jail trust, and 2 former jailers following a previous stint in the facility back in 2019. So now I made a little chuckle, but this guy's dead. That's not cool. It's not really related to the Baby Shark thing, other than he was, had previously been in jail. Seems like this guy is a repeat visitor. He's a frequent flyer at the Oklahoma County, detention center. Back in 2019, they accused the officers Gregory Cornell Butler Jr. and Christian Charles Miles of forcing them to listen to Baby Shark blaring out on repeat, occasionally for hours, while they stood handcuffed to the wall of a visitation room. Former Lieutenant Christopher Raymond Hendershot was also accused of knowing about the practice and doing nothing to stop it. A 2020 investigation reportedly confirmed the inmates had been disciplined in this way, and the 2 detention officers were fired and charged with misdemeanor counts of cruelty to a cruelty to a prisoner and conspiracy. You gotta listen to a children's song ad infinitum. It's cruelty. I mean, I don't know.
So
I mean, it's a little bit effed up, but it's not. I don't think it's torture. It is annoying.
You don't think it's torture?
I'm not sure if it's torture.
Dude, you've got them damn. I could sing a couple of songs right now that you'd be cussing me.
Earworms. It's an earworm. You can't get it out of your head.
You can't get them out of your head. And I've joked before in the past. Me and my brother have this little, it's almost like a game because we've joked about this before. And the younger kids might not get this analogy, but I always liken it to a jukebox. There's a jukebox in your mind, okay? Because you feed it quarters all day long with different things that you hear. So you might be humming the commercial that you heard, you know, O'Reilly's or whatever. And, you know, you might be humming the song that you heard or something like that. But when you go to sleep at night, you're not feeding it quarters anymore. And what happens to a jukebox when you don't feed it quarters? It goes to random. So do you ever wake up in the morning and you've got some random ass song in your head that you hadn't heard in 20 years? That's your jukebox in your mind that's went random. So every once in a while, I'll check my phone and I'll have a message and I'll listen to the message and it'll just be my brother going, dude, woke up this morning with Milli Vanilli in my head. And he'll just start singing. You know, it's some weird ass song that you hadn't heard in like 30 freaking years.
Wow. Okay.
You know, so we have that little game that we'll play.
So, yeah, I don't, you listen to a lot of music. I mean, it's part of your job.
Yeah. I listen to hundreds of songs a day. Daily.
Yeah. I don't listen to hundreds of songs a day. I don't listen to, there are many days where I don't hear any songs at all.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's been about 12 songs played since me and you started talking.
Deacon, red alert.
Red alert.
My brother is advocating for Texas nationalism, secede from the Union. And I gotta say, if somebody in charge of Texas was like, let's quit, I would be like, let's quit. Let's see what happens. What's the worst? We could always come back, right?
Jeremy got me. He burned me, dude. Look at this one. He got me. I have to bow to this one.
Song with it.
You know, just like when you watch the Disney show or Amazon's Ring of Power. I don't know if he was trying to burn me, but that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Disney show.
The 2 new Disney shows. There's a couple coming out that are like
She-Hulk?
No, not She-Hulk. There's a couple of Star Warsy ones, aren't there?
Andor is supposed to come out.
And something else.
They better not make Andor. I mean, like, I'm not saying anti-woke. I'm just saying, like, can you just make a regular normal entertainment show where like there's like heroes and bad guys and shooting and spaceships and not be like women power and all of this stuff. Like, you keep your messages up your butt where they belong, and just like, if you're gonna make entertainment, just make it like fun. Can you guys just make a fun show? If you can make Rogue One if you can make Andor like Rogue One and not add like messaging and like, you know, whatever it is your religious beliefs entail, just leave that out.
There will never ever be another show like that everyone will like. There will always be hate for anything that comes out. That is, chisel that shit in stone. Okay.
There's always going to be hate.
That is a fact. That is a new fact of life, that no matter what you do or what you write, there's always going to be some freaking hate, and somebody's not going to like something and going to try to start a freaking internet campaign. I'm sorry. That's just the way of the world now. That's just the way of the world. And it didn't start now. It started 20 freaking years ago. I mean, it started. I mean, can you remember? And I'm talking specifically about Star Wars. I'm thinking Star Wars specifically.
Right.
The fucking kid Jake Lloyd does not even act anymore. Do you know how much hate that little kid got? So much that he just said, "Screw this business. I don't want to have anything to do."
I mean, like, he did an okay job. It's not. I mean, like, nobody expects that much out of little kids.
But
right?
They hated him. The guy that played, what's his name? Ahmed Best, that played Jar Jar Binks. What a talented freaking guy, man. What a talented freaking actor.
Yeah. I mean like, most of the time, I blame the writers and the directors. Like this is what you asked for.
He did what he worked with. And I'm a Jar Jar. I'm not a hater. I've always thought that he has a place. There's a place for Jar Jar in that world, in that story, and he fit the place good. He fit the role, the story role that he was supposed to play. He fit perfectly. George Lucas did that. People just didn't like him, and that's fine. And sometimes you don't like that role, that comedic role. Sometimes it don't work. What's up, Colin?
So
it's going to work. Be careful.
So it looks like they updated the headline. Because I was gonna, man, I don't understand. Okay, so I agree with you. There is back on. I was looking at our next story on the topic of like universal appreciation. It is very difficult. It's very difficult right now. Maybe it'll happen again, but right now, in a time where our culture is straight up not just bifurcated, but like it's broken up in a lot of ways, but there's two major splits here. And one side thinks the other side is annoying, and the other side thinks this side is like Nazi demons or something like that. So, there's a big cultural divide. It can be really difficult for a show to be universally loved in a time like this. When was the last show that was universally loved? Can you think?
Firefly.
Something that brought us all to. No, it wasn't. It was canceled.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It wasn't even loved by Fox.
No, I think Firefly was after the DVDs box set came out and it got pushed back. Remember, because that really made a huge push because people didn't like Firefly because Fox screwed it up. They played it out of order.
Yeah, they played it out of order.
They out of order. It completely screwed it up, and nobody knew what was going on.
They were caught in this deal with Joss Whedon, and they were obligated to make the show, but they didn't get the vision. They didn't understand. They didn't. Right. So they were like janking with it to get it, from the jump.
Jeremy says, yeah, I didn't
Breaking
like
Bad.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch Breaking Bad?
I watched some, but only because everybody was watching it, and it wasn't my thing. I just didn't. I'm not one of these people that I don't know. I don't like everything that everybody likes. I just didn't like it, and I've tried to watch it.
Breaking Bad is pretty good, though. All right.
I mean, everybody says it. Everybody says Walking Dead. Watch The Walking Dead. You would love it.
Dead, the first season was like, they're going to adapt this comic, and then it just.
Let me tell you, I did watch some Walking Dead, and I watched the episode. All I have to do is
My Name is Earl.
No, I love that show. It's my favorite show ever. No, I watched the episode of The Walking Dead where they made it to, what was the town? Terminus?
Yeah.
Where the cannibals were.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
You're like,
that scene. That scene was so rough. And even though I knew it was all, it's a TV show and whatnot, that scene was so rough for me to watch with the baseball bats and stuff. It was just, I'm not entertained by that kind of stuff. That's not entertainment to me. Hey, no. I mean, that's great. I mean, Jordan, I completely understand. It's okay, Deacon. You can have bad taste. That's fine. My taste is different than your taste. I mean, I'm not saying that y'all have bad taste because y'all like a show that I don't like. I don't. That's to each his own. Different strokes for different folks, like Pappy always used to say.
All right, hang on. I saw this morning, and I wanted to. Yeah, we'll do this. I wanted to check for myself. So, do you remember Deacon 2018? We were still playing contests. Maybe you still are. I'm not. But do you remember in 2018? I think it was 2018 for Comic-Con 2018. They announced the TV show The Inhumans.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yep.
So check this out.
I didn't.
You didn't watch it? Of course you didn't
No,
watch it.
No, I watched it. I didn't not like it. Yeah. Everybody hated that show, and I just kind of, I didn't love it, but I did not like it.
The average reviewer score was 11%, right? Critics. It was, it just wasn't very good. It wasn't very entertaining. They just weren't able to capture real interest. The average audience score of that show, 44%. So, critics 11%, the audience 44%. So I saw this on Twitter, and this is kind of amusing to me. She-Hulk is right now getting 88% from. Hold on, don't let me say it first. She-Hulk is getting 88% from critics, but the audience thinks it's worse than Inhumans. 40%. Yes. It's awesome. So if you haven't checked out She-Hulk yet, you really ought to. Maybe you're going to, because you're a member of the media, so you'll probably fall into this category right here.
I might absolutely love She-Hulk. I might have a She-Hulk.
Are you a fan of twerking or Megan Thee Stallion?
Both, yes, very much. I twerk while looking at pictures of whoever you just said.
All right.
Do you want me to show you my twerk?
Hey, chat, if you want to see that, make sure to leave a comment in the description below and hit the like button. If you want to see Deacon twerk, he's got room in his office.
If we can get X number.
What do we need? If we can get a video with like 50 views. If we get 50 views, will you twerk?
No.
Come on, man. All right. That's okay. We're not going to get a video of 50 views either. All right. So I played this. I ran across this yesterday, and I thought this was so amusing. But it looks like the crown, the royalty, has already maybe revised their position. UK only invites Bidens to rep at the Queen's funeral. They've added this to the headline, but will let him ride in his own car. So yesterday when I saw this,
everybody in the other cars.
The British government only invited President Biden and the First Lady Jill to represent the United States at Queen Elizabeth's state funeral. This is on the 19th. The White House confirmed. The invite was issued to Britain, to its most powerful ally and top trading partner, and it was confirmed by Karine Jean-Pierre during a gaggle on Air Force One. Do you know who this is, right? This is our current press secretary. She is stupid. She's like they've hired the dumbest press secretary.
Oh, she
just straight lies about stuff. Anyway,
the invitation. Oh, that's not freaking Italian.
So no former presidents, no additional staff, nobody else, just Joe Biden and the First Lady.
No Barack.
No additional.
You're not letting Barack Obama? What the hell?
The site only holds 22,000 people, so they're limiting it for sure.
23,001 for King Brock.
Westminster Abbey can fit not 22,000, 2,200 people. Westminster Abbey is expected to host one of the largest gatherings as heads of state in memory on September 19th. Pay respects to the 96-year-old monarch who died September 8th in her Balmoral residence in Scotland. The invitation is for the president and first lady. It came in the form of a note received Saturday night. So back in 2017, The Guardian reported that Operation London Bridge the Operation London Bridge is the plans for the funeral of the Queen. Non-royal leaders would be put up at a 5-star hotel, Claridge's Hotel, in the Queen's funeral, but it was unclear if those plans still held. And according to a report from Politico Europe, visiting world leaders would be bussed en masse to Westminster Abbey from a site in West London. So the site is probably Claridge's Hotel, and like world leaders, we're talking presidents, prime ministers, and ostensibly even President Biden would get on a bus and ride on a bus to Westminster Abbey. So you can
Yeah,
imagine how
that's not
embarrassing.
gonna fucking happen, okay? That's okay. They can say that all they want, but do you really think that's going to
Well,
happen?
I mean, they'll probably do it for all the other world leaders, but
Really? Do you think
apparently Biden is going to get a
some little
car.
small world leaders maybe, but do you really think they're going to put major world leaders all on a goddamn bus together?
It's a bad idea.
That's not.
And it looks terrible. It would look hilarious. It would be so funny to see Biden climbing off of a bus with like a bunch of other big hats. So apparently, according to the headline anyway, because the story doesn't say this at all, but I mean that an unnamed London-based ambassador told Politico, "Can you imagine Joe Biden on the bus?" And it would be so embarrassing for the president of the United States to go to London and then have to get on a bus to go from the hotel to Westminster Abbey instead of riding in a armored car or whatever we do whenever we go places. It would be embarrassing. So I was like, this would be so funny. But it looks like the White House has managed to use their clout. So, President Biden is going to get treated special. He's going to get treated special, and all the other world leaders are going to have to get on a bus.
Well, good. Maybe he's got I'm sure in his own car, he's probably got his own little girls that he can sniff in there, and he don't have to go around and bring his own little girls to sniff on the bus.
Yeah.
Maybe that's faux pas against the other world leaders. Maybe other people don't like to sniff children all the time, and they don't want him to feel bad. So they keep him separated so that he can sniff all the children that he wants. So, I mean, that's whatever. Y'all voted for him.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. I was curious. And so here's the route, the shortest route from Claridge's hotel to Westminster Abbey. I don't know anything about England, but that's the route. So it looks like it would take 15, 20, 25 minutes to get from Claridge's to the destination. And I went yesterday. I was just like, this will be so funny. Will the president of the United States get on a bus with a bunch of other world leaders? I just thought it would be hilarious. All right. Deacon, I'm going to pick up your story here. You put this one in here. What's up with the heckler?
Did you see the guy heckling the Prince Andrew yesterday? And then
I didn't see it. Is it on video here?
Yeah, or you want to pull it up? You want me to pull it up?
I got this one, and then there's another one. You have a follow-up I haven't looked at yet.
Okay. So, yeah, tell us about this.
So, man arrested after heckling Prince Andrew during the Queen Elizabeth's funeral procession, which I'm going to say.
I've got the video. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Well, you want to see it?
Where's it at? Yeah, play the video.
Hang on, let me stop it here.
Poor taste. But in America, you're allowed to have poor taste, and you can say whatever you want, right?
No.
And I'm sure in England, where we inherited this common law, this idea of free speech, this idea of like autonomy, being a free person. I'm sure that in England you also have free speech, right? Let's find out.
Can't really hear him.
Yeah, what's he saying?
He's telling him that he's a sick man for. I can't remember. See, look, and they grab him and they pull his look at this freaking guy.
Hey, well, hold on. For talking,
his ass is.
He got his ass whooped for.
He's got his ass whooped. Yeah. He done nothing wrong. He called out a disgusting man. Sorry that your mother was the queen and she died. But that you're a disgusting human being.
Well, look here. Prince Andrew stepped back from public life as a working member of the royal family in 2019 after a public backlash over his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced late financier and convicted pedophile. One of Epstein's most vocal accusers, Virginia, whatever that is, Giraffe, sued Andrew. Oh, F. Go back. don't click on a word in a story, sued Prince Andrew in a U.S. civil court earlier this year over allegations he sexually abused her when she was only 17 years old and being trafficked by Epstein. The two later settled out of court for an undisclosed sum, and Andrew was stripped of his military titles by the Queen. That is my little POS son is nastiness. Prince Andrew has largely stayed out of public life since stepping down in 2019, but last year gave brief spot interviews to British media outlets after the death of his father, Prince Philip. The interview sparked backlash among some viewers who accused outlets like BBC and Sky News of giving the platform to Andrew despite his alleged refusal to cooperate with U.S. investigators looking into Epstein's crimes and accusations of sexual abuse.
Read that line down there. Go ahead. With the
Queen's death, Prince Andrew is now 8th in line for the throne.
No, look at that. Andrew has long been said to have been his mother's favorite child. Look, let me show you this. This was a follow-up.
Powerful men should be allowed to commit sexual crimes and get away with it.
Hold on. I know. Go ahead, play it. I'm gonna mute you, but play it again.
Powerful men should be allowed to commit sexual crimes and get away with it.
Ooh.
Yeah, they
should not be allowed to commit sexual crimes against
and get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Powerful men shouldn't be allowed to commit sexual crimes and get away with it. And that's exactly what happens all over the fucking world. I think that's
Chuck. I don't see Prince Andrew. I don't know which one it is.
Andrew's right there.
I don't know what he looks like.
Look, there's Charles, and then who's behind Charles? Who's right there? Yeah.
That's not a woman?
Andrew's behind her, whoever that is. That next
dude man right here,
Andrew. That's Andrew,
right there.
If I've got my, I'm looking at it. It looks like Andrew. Yeah.
Zoom in. Computer enhance.
That's
computer
him. That's
enhance.
Yeah, that's Andrew.
All right. Well, you know what? I mean, like, just in case you thought that your UK democracy, constitutional monarchy, just in case you thought you had free speech, you don't. This dude got arrested for breach of peace. They called it breach of peace. And the other guy, there was somebody else that got arrested for breach of peace. That just means that we don't like what you're saying. So you're in jail now. You're going to jail. You're getting handcuffed and you're getting detained. On Sunday, a 22-year-old woman who was spotted holding an anti-monarchy protest sign was charged with breaching the peace. She was holding a sign in protest. In the United States, you can hold a sign and protest and damn near set a Supreme Court justice's house on fire, and you won't get in trouble. In the United States, if you walk around with some words written on, in the United Kingdom, you walk around with some words on paper, you might be going to jail.
It's not our country.
Not our country. Not my monkeys, not my problem. But if you think in any way like, a constitutional monarchy is just as good as a constitutional republic. Wrong.
Well, you've seen how mad those two normal fat guys got mad at that dude. The cop was pulling him out. The cop was jerking him out, so it was obviously pissing off everybody around.
He was probably just stop this guy from antagonizing the crowd.
And then the other guys in the crowd were getting pissed off and like trying to get their beefs in, and they
started attacking him, shoving him and pushing him. Yeah.
All freaking day long. Yeah. So, so what do you say about those guys? Beefy pig looking, stormtroopers. Why are you getting mad at this kid for calling out your fucking royal that was diddling little kids? So you're defending the fact that it's okay for your royal to diddle little kids? Just so I guess
the headline really ought to be United Kingdom populace and police defend pedophiles.
Yeah,
defend national pedophiles.
United Kingdom's citizens and police defend national pedophile from Hitler. from Heckler.
From Heckler. Yeah.
Is what it should really read.
Royal Pedo defended
royal pedophile defended by police and citizens.
Yeah.
From Heckler is
Absolutely.
what that should have read. That's
right.
what the headline should read. It shouldn't be Heckler was disturbing the Queen's memorial. No, that's fucking bullshit. All right. Nobody calls out this guy.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna shill for some stuff here for a second, but not for me, for other people. So hang in here, guys. Let me just say that I'm gonna go to Indiegogo. I'm gonna go to hold on. Comics. If you go to Indiegogo right now and go to comics, there's 2 books on here you should definitely look at backing. One is Aaron Lepresti's Wraith of God, Blood Hunters for like $25. You can get the Blood Hunters Volume 1. And there's a combo pack where you can get Wraith of God and Wraith of God Volume 2. Okay, so go check that out. Aaron and his wife Shelly are cool peeps, and they talk to me on Twitter sometimes.
Okay,
this book was awesome. So if you wanna like support independent artists and let me tell you this. The reason why I even got started into this at all is because Disney and Marvel and DC are making absolute trash entertainment that I am never going to be able to be like, oh yeah, here kids, please read this comic book about 2 gay superheroes. Batman and Robin used to be like, the Dark Knight detective and the dynamic duo, and now they're the oh boy, danger zone. So if the decisions by corporate media, in order to keep their intellectual properties alive and relevant in the modern era, they don't know how to tell stories anymore. So instead, they're doing all of these gags that are just not acceptable to me. And they're not making good content. So I went and found people that are making good content. And those people are in Comicsgate, and they're independent creators, or they're adjacent to. One of them is Aaron Lepresti's Wraith of God. This thing is going to be awesome. I already have the first version. I can say for sure this is good stuff. There's also Fiendish Chapter 2. So Fiendish is like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing, except they're fighting demons. It's like Dungeons and Dragons aesthetic of like fantasy. And they're fighting some demon things. So the first volume is like a 48-page book, and then this will be the second volume. So look at this. This campaign launched on Saturday. Within like an hour, she was up to $50,000 in sales. Within 3 days, I guess it's 3 days, she's at $97,000 in sales.
That's good.
Okay. This is real good. This is real good. So this is by Rini Straczynski. I can't say her. I'm sorry, Rini, if you ever see this. I can't. No, it's Rini, but it's her last name is here. Let me go in here. Rini Strakowski. Sorry, Irene Strakowski. This is good stuff. So you can pick this up and volume 1 as well. Now, this is the way this stuff goes is like you buy in now, and then like it takes a while for her to draw it, get it inked, colored. They keep you updated on the process of where the steps are. And then like, I don't know, 6 months from now, or maybe a year from now, then the book will come in. So I don't know what the ETA for delivery for this is, but it's just a different experience. It's not like going to the store and you plop down $10 and you pick something up. It is, you go to the store and you support an artist, and then later you take delivery of the goods. And for me, it just comes in like as a surprise. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. So here you can see this is the Fiendish 2 cover, and then you have like an archer character, and then like a fighter, and then I think she's like like a magician type or magic type character. I don't know anything about D&D. There is a bit of a racy cover available if you get the Empire pack, but this has, it's kind of got an anime style of art, but it's Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. And then Wraith of God is a totally different genre. It's like horror, but like Old West horror. So it takes place in the 1800s. this stuff, this is, I'll tell you about that maybe in a second. This is the cover I bought. I picked up the cover C because I think this will go good with my Wraith of God cover that I got last time, which is this kind of like old 80s style comic book. So this stuff takes place in the 1800s. It's totally takes place in the Old West, but it's vampires and werewolves and like horror stuff. So it's pretty dope. If you're only going to back one, if you're going to back none, go back none. All right. But if you're going to back one, definitely back Aaron Lopresti's Blood Hunters. This thing is great stuff. Okay. You can pick up all the covers or whatever for a different deal. But I just think it's important to put your money, if you're going to support art, right now you can choose to support Disney and Marvel and DC, or you can put your money directly into artists' hands that care, about telling the story, about craft, and you can just cut out all the corporate middlemen. So that's what I'm choosing to do, and I highly recommend. I have links in the description of this video for you to go back one of those books if you want. Or if you want to tell people about it on social media and say, hey, while you're out there on social media, let me remind you, this video has a like button, has a share button. You can push the share button, and it lets you share it on like Facebooks and Twitter books and other things like that. So that's all I got this morning. Deacon, you got anything you want to talk about left?
No, I'm getting. I don't know. I think my medicine's messing with me.
Coffee wore off.
Yeah, the coffee wore off.
Well, all right. If you want to, we can play the intro video on the way out.
You can do it.
See, I need to change this. I need to change the starting soon so I can roll it on the out bit. Good morning, everybody. And we will see you.
Get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,